Hello, my name is Colette and I'm with Encounter Tribe. And today I have a special guest with me, my sister, Kristin Santizo. Thank you for joining.
You're welcome.
We are on day 52 of our 100 Days of Fasting Fear, but really it's walking in bold faith. And so yesterday I shared that we are going to start sharing testimonies of how other people besides myself have overcome fear and gotten out of it. Also, different people experience fear differently and they have different reactions to it. Like, for instance, I could totally sit in fear. It could capture me. I will say it used to. It doesn't anymore. But I could sit in it for possibly days and be immobilized. Whereas my sister, very different than myself. So why don't you share?
I hate the fear. I hate the feeling of it. So I'm like, oh no, this feels awful. We gotta go. Like, we cannot be here. We gotta get out now. And so I'm charged. I don't know, just
Yes.
charged ahead. Like, we are, whatever it is, like, I'm pressing into it. Like, we are getting ourselves out of this.
Yeah.
That's my usually first reaction. Or I just quickly fall to my feet. Usually the first thing is, like, if I'm initially scared, it is I fall to my feet and I pray. Like, I'm constantly like, okay,
Yeah. Okay. So when you approach God in those moments, do you feel his sense of peace come over you right away as you surrender that? Or,
yeah.
okay.
He reminds me, I am a God of peace. I am a God of peace. And so he just he washes over me. And the other thing he always reminds me of is, because I have little dreams, almost always he brings me back to one of my dreams.
Yeah.
And it's always comfort. There's always comfort in it. There's always a situation where he reminds me, and it's always like a promise of, I'm your rock, or I'm like your refuge, or in something. So that's quickly where he brings me.
Okay.
Probably because he knows I can't stay there. I can't do it. So, or I don't like to it.
Yeah. What is one instance that you remember how God kind of walked you out of a fear place? I know you had done this journal a couple years back, and there was a place that you were struggling with a piece of it. Would you mind sharing on that?
Yeah. So God asked me to write this nightlight journal, and I was like, okay. But I was having a ton of fear with putting my name on it. I was like, I'll do it for you, Lord, but I don't know that I want people to know that I did it. I'm happy to be a ghostwriter. I would totally give somebody else the credit, but I was just like, I don't know if my name's supposed to be on it. And it stopped me. Like, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And the Lord just gave me this idea. He's like, well, then just do it. Write the whole thing, do the whole thing, and pretend that your name is not going to be on it. And in the end, we will decide, Kristin. And I was like, I can do that. I can do that. Because then there's still hope that he's going to say, yeah, don't worry about it. But in the midst of that, walking it out, writing, I was able to do it so fast.
Yeah.
And then in the end, he obviously did have me put my name on it. But there was so much peace at that point. And so I was so thankful that he really just allowed me to say, no, you don't have to worry about it. Take your name off it. If that's the only stumbling block, if that's the only thing hindering me, well, then just do it as if it's not there. And I was like, no, I thought of that.
I love that, because that is a wonderful strategy I could even use for myself if I could believe myself. He did a really good job of having you take it off so that you didn't have to feel anything about it. It was a future item on the agenda, and it really was that, like, okay, it really may be anonymous, and you were fully like, okay, driven to do what the Lord had you do. I love that you didn't have to contend for it. You just, bloop, okay, charge forward. Again, I don't understand that because that's not my way of operating. But I see it in real life. And I know that you do a really good job of just charging forward and things and pushing through. So it's also great for somebody, personality like me, to be encouraged by somebody who can just drive that feeling like, nope, we aren't giving this energy. We're just charging through.
We do not have time for that.
Yeah.
That's usually what I see runs through my mind. So
yes, and you get a lot of things done. I like it. Is there any other stories or testimonies that you want to share? Another area that I feel like as a mom, I know that I have had to wrestle with getting out of fear over my children, whether it's in parenting them, whether it's a situation. I know that you have had a lot of instances where your kids have had things health-wise maybe come up, or just different situations with your children. Is there anything that you would like to share on how you handled that, or any testimonies?
One of the ones that came to mind was, so my son does have a lot of health conditions, and one night he's like, "Hey mom, my arm is purple and blue." I was like, "So that's not normal." And I am a nurse, and so he was having shortness of breath, and he was having a blue arm, and I'm thinking, you're having a blood clot in your arm, and all I think of is a PE. And he's been to the emergency room so many times. He, that night, just looked at me and said, "I'm not going to the emergency room. No matter what happens, I'm not going." And he's 23 years old. He's an adult. Yes, he lives at home with me. But I remember thinking, we have to go now. And it was amazing. Like, he had so much peace. He had so much peace in the midst of it. And he just looked at me and he gave me a hug, and he just said, "Mom, it's going to be okay. I'm going to go in my room and I'm going to go to bed." And I remember thinking and praying, going, "You need to give me the peace he has, Lord. Like, right now, I just need the peace he has, because I don't have peace." And so I walked in my room, I hugged him goodnight, and I walked into my room. And I said, "Lord, you know me. I'm not going to be able to sleep all night long. You need to knock me out. Like, right now, like, I don't know how that works. Like, I need to be knocked out right now." And he did. I don't know how he did it. Like, how, like, knowing me too in that situation with my kids. And he did, and he slept, and I slept. And then I wake up at like 6:30 in the morning, and I'm awake. And of course, that's my first thought. But I do remember thinking, this is a terrible thought. Like, but I said, if I'm going to find him dead in that room, I need to go take a shower, because it's going to be a really long day. And I remember just saying, "Lord, I believe you for good things. No matter what I find, no matter what happens, I just believe you for good things. And I'm calling you good no matter what." And so
that would be very scary.
it was, I'm not gonna lie, that was scary. And so I just was, as I walked to his room, my heart was absolutely racing. And I knock on the door, and then there's no answer. And now I am getting into fear. And then I knock louder, and then I hear nothing, but his dog's in there. And then I hear rustling, and I hear his little look, "What do you want?" And then I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I start crying a bit. And then I was like, but now that I'm mad, now I'm mad. And so I was like, okay, so then all my emotions are running. But it was so good of God for those hours. And I do remember calling you that morning, and you're like, "What? Why aren't you in the emergency room?" I was like, "Yeah, we gotta go." So then we ended up going to the emergency room that day. But just that was a good, I appreciate the Lord for allowing me to walk out that level of trust with him, and that level of, no matter what I walk into, no matter what I find.
Yeah. That's huge.
He's got me, and he has my son.
Yeah.
Like, that was the lesson, that it doesn't even matter. Because he's got it.
Yeah. And even like you described in your personality, that you cannot tolerate sitting in that mode. And God knows that too. So he had his grace over you, totally knocking you out. Like, oh, that's pretty amazing.
It was crazy.
I can't imagine going to sleep with those feelings and those concerns. So, I mean, that is totally a miracle that he,
Yeah, I didn't have anything other to describe than him like knocking me out because I was like, my head hit the pillow and I was like, you got to do it now. And I just remember thinking, and then I was sleeping.
yeah.
So God is so good.
Yes. Well, those are excellent stories. Thank you for sharing. I love your testimony for just allowing God to do certain things to help you in the moments, to strategize, and to just knowing your personality. Like, I love hearing about how you can handle things with a really strong, and it's great. So I can't wait. There's going to be more testimonies of different people, how they experienced fear, how they overcame it and pushed through. So thank you for being a guest on my.
You're welcome. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad to walk this out. I really am. Like, I know that this is something really important that the Lord is asking you to do too. So I think that it's not just encouraging yourself and like you're encouraging a lot of other people. So
Thank you so much. Well, blessings, and I can't wait for the next story tomorrow. But thank you so much, Kristin.
welcome. Bye.